Boeing's single-point failure. Why was there no backup system on 737 MAX jet? When it comes to safety, modern commercial aircraft are known not only for having backup systems, but in some cases, backups of their backups. So even as in a key anti-stalling system, in mystery still surrounds why the software was designed to be dependent on a single outside sensor, though it was equipped with two, triggering a chain of events that led to the crashes of less than 5 months apart. Boeing violated. Based on an initial report from crash investigators, Boeing CEO Dennis Muilenburg acknowledged Thursday that erroneous data sent to the system led to that took 157 lives on March 10, both in the. He vowed Boeing would. Others, however, aren't so sure that Boeing can find an adequate repair, saying that the twin crashes are proof that the plane's problems run deeper than flawed sensors. They say the design, For now, all Boeing's 737 MAX 8 and 9 aircraft around the world have been grounded amid investigations into the source of the problem. Boeing, on the system is supposed to automatically push down the plane's nose when either of two angle of attack sensors, one mounted on each side of the fuselage, detects that the plane had pointed upward so steeply that it can stall. MCAS was, but in an unusual move, engineers designed MCAS to initiate when it detected too steep of an ascent from either sensor. The sensors did. In a statement to USA Today, a Boeing spokesman said the commercial aircraft giant followed established industry assumptions. The company felt safe in adding MCAS because if there was a malfunction, one way would be to use switches on the control wheel to adjust the plane's trim, which adjusts control surfaces to make the plane easier to fly, like cruise control in a car. Or the same task, crash aftermath. Yet apparently, those procedures didn't work for the Lion Air and Ethiopian Airlines crews. In the case of the single source of data seems unusual given the lengths that Boeing has gone to build redundancies into its jetliners. For the 777, Boeing's twin-aisle intercontinental jet, engineers created triple redundancy for its computers, hydraulics, communications, and electrical power. Perhaps the decision on how many backups to have isn't easy, said Peter Seeler, an associate professor of aerospace engineering at the University of Minnesota who used to work at Boeing. It depends on how. It may be that Boeing didn't deem MCAS to be critical enough to warrant a backup. It was designed, With the 737 update, Boeing saved time by not having to create an all-new jet. It also involves requiring that MCAS constantly monitor readings from the two sensors and disengage if they differ widely from each other, and to make standard a cockpit warning light that was previously an option. Whenever. This article originally appeared on USA Today.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.